When you go walking in the countryside, do you ever stop sometimes, look at your surroundings and wonder what could have happened there in the past? Do you look at a certain field and wonder if somebody lived there thousands of years ago? Or perhaps could a battle have taken place sometime in antiquity that history never recorded? Or perhaps just a terrible event that happened in more recent times that has now been almost completely forgotten in the modern era? Well, I'm actually standing in just such a place. I'm at a place called Warren Green, which is just outside the village of Weston in North Hertfordshire. And the fields you see around me once became the epicentre of one of the worst air disasters in Hertfordshire history, when two American B17 Flying Fortresses collided in the sky above here, and it resulted in terrible loss of life and devastation. This trackway that I'm standing on is actually a farm track, but it's also a public footpath, and it's used frequently by ramblers, people walking their dogs, or just taking a stroll to the pub at Hall's Green at the other end there. But nearly everybody who walks along here probably has no idea about the death and destruction that took place in these fields almost 80 years ago. This is the story of the Weston Bomber Collision. And that story begins early one morning on an airfield in Suffolk.
If I see any of you sons of bitches smile, I'm gonna shoot ya!
Thanks, Joe. I'll have 2 of those. Come on, you guys, let's get this bird in the air. Navigator, how long until we reach the waypoint?
2 minutes, Skipper, then alter course to 250.
After the aircraft took off from Parham Airfield, they circled around over East Anglia and gradually merged with other formations of aircraft that were taking off from other bases in the region. And eventually they all merged into one massive formation of aircraft that were now heading towards North Hertfordshire. By 9 AM on the 26th of August 1944, that formation was now flying over Weston when disaster struck. Now, nobody knows exactly what caused the collision. Eyewitness accounts from a company aircraft also seem to vary, but the popular theory is that one of the B-17s got caught in the slipstream of an aircraft in front of it and become unstable in flight, and it fell back on or went into the side of the plane nearest to it. Both aircraft locked together and then just rolled over and tumbled out of the sky down towards these fields.
Pull up, 936, you're getting too close!
Now, whilst this was happening, there were eyewitnesses, not only here in the village, but all the neighbouring towns, who were watching what was happening. But seeing two aircraft suddenly tumble out of the sky caused a lot of confusion with eyewitnesses here in Warren Green and in Weston.
My God. What do you think's happening up there, Dave? I don't know, but it certainly doesn't look good.
Mummy, there's something wrong in the sky.
One of the two B-17s that came down crashed in this wood here. That was the B-17 called Ding Dong Daddy, the one you saw in the video where all the crew members having their group photo taken. When she hit the ground here in this wood, the remaining bombs on board exploded and literally blew the aircraft to smithereens, along with the remaining crew on board. And of course the wreckage went all over the fields. Now, unfortunately, you can't get in these woods today. It's so overgrown, it's impenetrable. But there is a huge crater inside there which you could actually get to a few years ago, but you can't get in there anymore now. It's just too overgrown. But even as recently as the 1980s, you could walk around inside this wood and pick up pieces of wreckage that had been there for 40 odd years. And that included throttle levers, gauge dials, and there were even parachute silks still hanging in the trees after 40 odd years. And sadly, not a lot. But even the field here, up until a few years ago, was arable, and every time it was ploughed, you could literally just walk along and pick up fragments of aircraft. poignant reminder of what happened. The second B-17 exploded in the air shortly after the collision, and that's believed to have been where one of the bombs detonated, and it literally blew the aircraft in half, and it left a trail of debris stretching for over a mile, with the tail section coming down at a field at Hall's Green, and then the ball turret coming down from thousands of feet, and it buried itself in the ground back at the fields at Warren Green there. Tragically, it still had the gunner inside it, and it had to be recovered from a crater about 7 foot deep. But the main section of the aircraft crashed right here with the remaining crew on board, and they were all killed. The cottage you see behind me here was occupied by the Clements family during the war. Mr. and Mrs. Clements had an 18-month-old baby called David. They also had a 42-year-old woman called Florence Webb living with them. On the day of this disaster, Mr. and Mrs. Clements were out at work, and Florence Webb was bathing the baby in the living room, and she was completely unaware of the disaster that was happening up in the sky above. Now, the second B-17, which crashed in the field just behind here, also released all its bomb load as it was falling out of the sky, and so bombs were raining down all around these fields and woodlands, all around this area. Some of them exploded, but a lot of them didn't. And 2 of them exploded in the field just behind the cottage here. And tragically, a 3rd bomb, which wasn't going to explode, came straight through the roof of the cottage, and it killed Florence and the baby. They were the only civilian casualties in this disaster. But there was a tragic irony to that story. Florence wasn't living here because she was related to the Clements. She was only here because she'd been evacuated out of London to escape the bombing. Not long after this disaster happened, the recovery teams arrived, and their priority was to recover the bodies of the dead airmen. Out of a total of 18 airmen from both planes, 14 were killed. As the bodies were recovered, they were brought here and laid out along the side of the road, ready to be taken away. Due to wartime reporting restrictions, no details of this disaster made it into the press. So, outside of this area, the story never happened. You know, there were hundreds and hundreds of eyewitnesses to this disaster, both here at Warren Green, the village of Weston, Baldock and Stevenage, just down the road. Lots and lots of people saw this disaster unfold in the sky, but nearly all of those witnesses now have passed. And now this story never made it to the papers, it never made it into the history books, and it's now a story that's been lost to time. And there's no memorial to the 12 brave airmen who perished in these fields. At least not yet.